This video is going to be a follow-up to my video that I made of the two main issues that I have with e-mountain bikes. And I'll start off by saying that I did not intend for that video to be a controversial video. The point of the video was riding safely. Mountain biking is a sport that I care deeply about, and I care deeply about people, and I want people to enjoy mountain biking as safe as they can. And most of the comments that were posted were positive. E-bikes are so polarizing that the comments are either very positive or super negative. Fortunately, the super negative ones were not that prominent because I felt like, I tried to do the best I could in that video to share my heart, share my concerns in a way that I was trying not to be controversial. But we all have cognitive biases. And if someone loves e-bikes and they've maybe gotten a lot of flack for them over the years and they're tired of it, I can see why you would have a cognitive bias, especially the title. So I titled the video the way I did because I wanted to draw attention to it. I'm not trying to do clickbait. I'm not trying to stir up a controversy. But those are the two main issues I have with e-bikes. Now, I could have made a video called the two main issues I have with mountain bikes or the two main issues I have with golf. I don't know, but I wanted to draw attention to those issues because safety to me is a concern. I read a comment this morning where a guy said that it must be nice knowing I'm better than everybody else. If you have followed my channel over the years and you know me personally, you know that is the furthest from the truth. And I even said in that video, I said, we're all better at something than everybody else. Someone who's been mountain biking for a long time is going to have better skills than someone who started a week ago. I mean, that's just the fact. And so, I was trying to communicate in that video how important it is to ride within your limits. And so that's what I want to talk about in this video. It's learning how to progress in mountain biking, staying within your limits. Now, I had mentioned, not putting the e-bike on the highest setting as soon as you get into mountain biking. Now, the perspective that I'm coming from is I mainly ride cross-country trails locally, and that's where I encounter the most e-bikes. So from that perspective, I've seen people ride much faster than they should because they can. And that's the point, is an e-bike allows you to ride faster than your skills if you allow it. Now, I think a lot of people made some good points about that video, that it's not really an e-bike problem, it's a people problem. I agree with that, actually. I do agree with that, because no matter what you do in life, whether it's a motorcycle, a vehicle, whatever, you can use it in the wrong way if you don't have the maturity, the wisdom to use it properly. And that's a good point. So on my local trails, a fit rider can hold 10 to 12 miles per hour. And that's because there's a lot of roots, there's a lot of turns, and there's not a lot of steep downhills. And so someone who was on an e-bike, a class 1 e-bike, could literally ride 18 miles an hour. Now, I saw a guy one time, I was leading out a youth mountain bike from the parking lot. There's about 20 kids. And some guy's coming the other way on an e-bike, flying. I mean, we're like 200 yards from the parking lot, flying around these kids. I mean, kids like 8 years old, 10 years old, when he should have slowed it down and maybe even pulled over and let the kids come by. He's coming the other way. He's just ripping it on an e-bike. And those are the things I've witnessed where, it bothers me that people would use something irresponsibly. And so, again, safety is the thing. And listen, there are trails that I shouldn't ride. I shouldn't do a jump line with 20-foot gaps. I'm not qualified for that. So by me saying that, I've developed my skills over the years, I've developed a certain skill set. There are guys who develop other skill sets in mountain biking. And so that is, that's the main thing. So let's talk about progression. So that's, again, that was the point of that video, is progressing your skills in the way that allows you to get better, but not try to jump too far ahead. And here, I'll be a little bit transparent here, and this is maybe will help you understand. There's a local trail system that I helped build trails, and there's a jump line on it. I didn't build the jump line, but another group built it. And it was not a very technical jump line, a lot of tabletops, a lot of no consequence jumps. But there was a guy who went out there one morning, hit a tabletop, went over the bars, landed on his head, broke his neck, and died. I'll remember that for the rest of my life. That's why safety is so important to me. This is a guy who was in his 20s, crashed that morning. Someone didn't find him until that afternoon. So he'd been out there all day. And so I'm not saying that, he was doing something he shouldn't have. I mean, accidents happen. But whether you're learning how to jump, whether you're learning how to ride fast on a cross-country trail, progressing appropriately is so important in mountain biking. And, people made a comment about, they've seen people trying to get Strava KOMs that are more reckless than e-bikes. Totally agree. Totally agree. There are times and places to ride fast, and there are times and places to be a little bit more cautious, especially when there's people around, right? Because that's the thing, that was the point about e-bikes, is I've seen, near head-on collisions, or in the case of that video where my friend got run off the trail. The importance of safety cannot be underestimated in mountain biking. All of us are going to crash. All of us need to do things that are a little bit outside of our comfort zone, because you can't keep it totally safe and not get better. And by the way, somebody made a comment that I think is true for the flip side. Someone who's maybe newer to mountain biking could develop their skills faster with an e-bike because they can go faster. So that's, especially if you ride like where, it's cross-country type trails, and you're maybe wanting to go to the mountains where the speeds are going to be higher. Yeah, you can go fast on the e-bike and develop those skills. And so it's all about judgment. Whether we're pinning it on a Strava segment, pinning it on an e-bike, you just want to do it in a way that's progressive. If I wanted to go out and learn how to hit a 20-foot gap, which I didn't have that opportunity when I was growing up, and so I'm at the age now where it's probably not wise to learn how to do that. But if I did, I wouldn't go hit the 20-foot gap right off. I would progress into bigger and bigger jumps and have maybe the right instruction, or at least just progress my skills. It's the same way with riding fast on a mountain bike. Whether it's downhill on an analog bike or on a cross-country trail on an e-bike, staying within a speed where you are keeping yourself somewhat safe and especially others safe, that's really the whole point. So whether you're on an e-bike, whether you're on an analog bike, whether you're on a motorcycle, it's so important to keep yourself within your limits somewhat. And like I said, you do want to push the limit some to progress. That's how you progress, whether it's going over a rock garden, doing a drop. That's another thing. Doing drops, I think, is an important skill for a mountain bike, because no matter, where you're at, you're going to come to a point where you'll be coming down a hill and there'll be just even a ledge, even something like this. Learning how to bunny hop off, keep both wheels level is important. And then you can progress to bigger drops. And so, you wouldn't go out and hit a 10-foot drop the first time. You want to go off a curb and then something a foot high. So progression is so important in mountain biking. That's the point of this rambling video. But again, I just wanted to kind of follow up that first video I made about e-bikes. Hopefully share a little bit more, because there's only so much you can say in a 15-minute video. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I get it. We all have a cognitive bias about something. No one's immune from that. It's just life. We see things through a certain lens because of our own experience, because maybe of things we prefer. And for those of you who love e-bikes, man, enjoy those e-bikes. And somebody made a comment that I said that you should only ride an e-bike if you have a disability. Totally not what I said in that video. I said that they're good for that. I also said I have friends who ride e-bikes that also have analog bikes, and they switch back and forth because they love the e-bikes. Like I said in the first video, I demoed an e-bike. I had a blast on it for the 2, 3, 4 months that I had it. And you know what? I'll probably have an e-bike again one day because they're a lot of fun to ride. Hopefully I'm making sense with this video. E-bikes, man, they're controversial. And I'm not going to make a whole lot more videos about e-bikes if I ever do again, because I want to promote mountain biking, and I want people to be safe. That's my heart. That's my channel. So no matter what type of bike you ride, please enjoy the sport. Be as safe as you can. Wear your pads where you need to wear pads. Go fast where you can go fast safely. Go slow when you need to. Comments, I know there'll be tons because I had more comments within the first hour of that last video than I think I've seen in any of my videos. E-bikes, analog bikes. Ride safe. Thanks for watching.